Society as a whole, all around the world, rely on a few things to function properly. But one of those things, and obviously the main one, is trust. We trust that the food that we buy and that we eat is clean and safe. We trust that the water that we drink is the same, clean and safe. We trust our employers to provide us with safe work, and we trust that the banks are making good decisions with our money. If we do not have trust in the people who make decisions for us, people who provide things for us, then what trust do we really have? How can we go about our daily lives feeling trustworthy, feeling comfortable, and most importantly, feeling safe? We just simply can't. Unfortunately, it is known that not everybody in the world is able to be trusted. Sometimes these untrustworthy people end up in our governments. And if we can't trust the people who play God, what good is it to have them? A high level of government transparency is extremely important in creating a well-functioning, healthy society. The Walkerton tragedy is a perfect example of when a lack of government transparency creates a damaged society. The Walkerton disaster was a disaster in Walkerton, Ontario, in which E. coli broke out through the water plant. The Walkerton tragedy strongly relates to the question of to what extent does government transparency impact a society's well-being. This situation relates well to this question because it shows the honesty of the government and the amount of information that is disclosed to the public can impact human health and society's level of trust. In general, has provided me with a new insight on how severely the government's hidden truths affect societies in general. The fact that over 2,000 people became sick and 6 people died because of the lack of honesty from the government about the E. coli bacteria found in the first water test is what shows how severe the effect of no government transparency can be. Typically, the government's hidden truths are censored on the media. Due to this, I was previously aware that the government does cover things up to an extent, but I never really thought about how in real people's lives can be taken because of the hidden truths and how severe of an impact government transparency can have on society as a whole. Not only was the health and well-being of the society damaged during the E. coli outbreak in Ontario, all of Canada, and around the world, but the future society was doomed the minute a part of the government lied to them. It is almost impossible to completely rebuild the trust of citizens in government after a lack of transparency like this. Moreover, not only is government transparency important for trust and health in a society, it is important for the freedom of the people. Freedom to know the people you may or may not vote for is essential. It is hard to achieve freedom when being constantly bombarded with hidden truths where we are left to question what is true and what is false. John Adams once said, "Liberty cannot be preserved without a general knowledge among the people who have a right and desire to know." If a society does not understand what the people running their government are doing and who they really are, how are they supposed to create a healthy foundation built on trust? Transparency adds clarity and accountability to the system that, left unchecked, is prone to corruption. Political corruption can divert scarce resources from poor and disadvantaged people, which, when relating back to the ideal well-functioning society is when all people are able to achieve their basic needs and wants. Society shows that political corruption is not healthy nor well-functioning. Therefore, it is essential to have a high level of government transparency in order to be a well-functioning, healthy society. Without transparency, a society's well-being is put in jeopardy, as seen in the Walkerton tragedy. And without that transparency we want and so desperately need, we will never be able to know what the gods are really hiding.